The next anchor we're going to talk about today is the 2-bolt Cordalette. This is one that's been used for years and years. And what you're going to need for this one is 4 locking carabiners, and then this time we're going to use that shorter length of 7 mil cord. In this case, it's about a 12 foot, maybe 14 foot length of cord that we have. You'll notice that I left the 2 locking carabiners from the sliding X. We just left those on there to kind of give us a head start. And so now what we need to do is get our cord tied into a loop. And I'm going to do that by using a knot called a Patagonia knot. And so what I'm going to do, I have a long length of cord here, as you can see. I'm going to match up the 2 ends, find them, match them up. And about 8-9 inches down, I'm going to tie an overhand knot in both of these ends, tie them together. Now I'm going to back that up with an additional overhand right next to it, and then I'm going to make sure that I have 3 to 4 inches of tail sticking out the top. There we go. So nice tail, 2 overhand knots tied together. That's called a Patagonia knot, and what that's done is it's made the entire thing into a giant loop. And what I'm going to do before I even get started, I know that this is pretty long, I'm going to double that loop up. Right? I'm going to double it up and make sure that the loops are the same size. Now, just like those bar tacks from the sliding X, I really want to keep this knot out of any involvement with the carabiners or the master point. So you're going to see me clip it kind of close through the first carabiner. And then I'm going to pull slack over here. And I'm going to clip it through the other carabiner. And then I'm going to twist those gates down and make sure that they're both locked by testing them. Now, as we zoom in on this anchor, I will pull them all down to make sure that all the loops are even. I grab tight up here, and I'm going to determine what my direction of pull is going to be. And that's just going to require some knowledge of the climb. Does the climb come from the bottom straight up to this anchor? Well, great, and that's the direction of pull. But maybe it comes from over here to the right or over here to the left. We're going to pretend like the climb straight down, and so when you fall on that climb, you're going to be pulling straight down the anchor. I'll pull down on that anchor, pull down the bottom loop, and then I will tie a really big figure 8 on a bite in this anchor. Figure 8 on a bite, and what you'll see is now all 4 of those cords were used to tie that figure 8 on a bite. There's 2 legs, 1, 2, they come down to a big friendly knot, and then they terminate in a master point. Just like in the sliding X, I'm going to have 2 carabiners in that master point. I'm going to grab my rope. My rope is going to clip through one, and then it's going to clip through the other. And then once I've clipped through them, I'm going to test to see that they're locked. I'm going to screw them down, test the gates. As long as they don't open, we're good. So now, let's evaluate this anchor using that Renee acronym. Is it redundant? Yes, we have the same 2 legs. We have the same 2 carabiners at the master point. If either leg fails, the other leg will hold. Is it equalized? Yes, it is. If you pull down, you'll see that tension comes on either leg at the same time. Now, what you'll notice about this one is that if you begin pulling from this side though, one leg holds tension, the other leg is completely loose. So, it is equalized, but only from a single direction. That's why with this anchor, you have to be very sure of what direction the pull is going to come from. However, as I mentioned, there is a trade-off between equalization and no extension. Look at the extension that occurs in the master point if we have the failure in one leg. We're going to pretend that this carabiner comes unclipped for some reason, and watch the master point. Does it move down a significant amount? No. You saw about 1 inch of sway, but almost 0 downward movement in that master point. So should one leg fail, the other leg would hold, and the master point doesn't extend at all. So between the sliding X and the 2-bolt Cordalette, you've really seen the difference between the two, and you've seen that interchange between having a greater amount of extension in the master point versus having a greater amount of equalization across the range of pull that could experience in the climb. So again, this is the 2-bolt Cordalette. We evaluated it. This is how you set it up, and this is another tool to put in your toolbox of anchors to use when you're top rope climbing.